Hello and welcome back to This Week in Ocean City for our February edition. I'm Logan Dubel. We're taking an inside look at all the latest resort hot topics here on the show today, from our cover story on finding housing for seasonal workers to a preview of the Ocean City Film Festival and what residents and tourists think of a large concert scheduled for later this year. We've got it all covered right here, right now on This Week in Ocean City. Each summer, a few thousand J1 and American workers head to Ocean City and help to serve the millions of tourists who visit. While the pandemic stopped most international students from coming to Ocean City, many plan to return this year. It's good news for visitors hoping to avoid long lines, but there's one growing problem city leaders are seeking to address: finding a place for all the workers to live. We're diving into the challenges of seasonal workforce housing in this week's cover story. We are hiring. That's a phrase people across the nation have heard nonstop over the past year, as labor shortages have been exacerbated amidst the pandemic. In fact, in what's being dubbed the Great Resignation by economists, a record number of workers are exiting various fields, most prominently in the leisure and hospitality industries. Ocean City, home to a few thousand overseas J1 workers along with American teens and college students each summer, faced enormous struggles over the past 2 years, especially as travel restrictions stopped international workers from obtaining visas. However, as restrictions end and workers possibly return, there's one major problem: where will they live at an affordable price? That's a question many Ocean City leaders are working to address as businesses prepare for yet another seasonal rush. Solving the problem is easier said than done, as housing cannot simply be built overnight. Glenn Irwin, Executive Director of the Ocean City Development Corporation, OCDC, has worked to resolve this issue for the past 2 decades. OCDC, which often grants funds to businesses for property improvement, consistently includes workforce housing in their improvement requirements. While they have made strides, he says the pandemic has only worsened the problem.
It's important that the employees, when they come here, they need to have a place to stay. And not only a place to stay, an affordable place to stay, to make it worthwhile for them to come. And again, that's both the American college students, high school students, as well as the foreign kids that come here in the summertime.
With more and more demand for quick trips down the ocean and property owners shifting to weekly rentals and Airbnbs, the amount of seasonal housing left for workers has rapidly declined. Now, Irwin and others are springing into action to ensure that not only does Ocean City have a workforce, but places for that workforce to live. Projects are underway across the board, including 2 OCDC initiatives recently conceptually approved by the mayor and city council. One property on Dorchester Street, already owned by OCDC, will soon be converted to accommodate over 200 beds at an affordable price. Additionally, a new facility on Somerset Street was approved in coordination with the OCPD to provide another 25 beds for seasonal police department workers.
I think you'll see the initiative as businesses realize they either need to find properties themselves to purchase for their employees, which has been done in the past in Ocean City by many employers, but it may need to accelerate, or you may find these new initiatives of businesses, including maybe with some public sector help, converting existing buildings to employee housing, or build new buildings just for employee housing.
In the long term, Irwin foresees some readjustment, but nonetheless encourages businesses to think outside of the box as people across the public and private sectors seek to beat this challenge and keep Ocean City bustling. Now let's get to your Ocean City headlines. With over a foot of snow dumped on Ocean City, Maryland just a few weeks ago, you're not alone if the thought of the vibrant sun and sand seems light years ahead. However, relaxation and summer fun is in sight as plans get underway for the highly anticipated Jellyfish Festival. Tentatively set for June 4th to the 5th, the all-local downtown event promises to excite visitors with live music, extreme sports, craft beer, and a festival shopping village. The festival is located at the south end of the Boardwalk, right off North Division Street. Another essential element of the festival is craft beer. Jellyfish now partners with Shore Craft Beer Fest, which falls on the Saturday afternoon of Jellyfish Weekend, featuring numerous beverages from local breweries. You may remember that the festival took place over Labor Day weekend last year, but organizers do feel confident that the new dates will create an ideal start to the summer and will also coincide with a major bull riding event at the Inlet parking lot. Details to come soon on that event. Paid tickets will be required to enter some portions of the festival this year, but costs will be minimal. We look forward to the Jellyfish Festival in June. Sun, surf, and action. The Ocean City Film Festival is returning for its 6th year over the first weekend in March, bringing the cinematic arts to the resort town. With countless independent films from around the world and several produced right here on the Eastern Shore, the festival promises to excite audiences of all ages. We sat down with Film Festival Director B.L. Strang-Moya for a preview of the 2022 festival. When you think of Ocean City, Maryland, a film destination isn't always the first thing that comes to mind. However, now preparing for its 6th annual event, the Ocean City Film Festival has put the small resort town on the cinematic map as a place for creative excellence. A program of the Art League of Ocean City, led by young filmmaker and Towson University alum B.L. Strang-Moya, the festival has entertained more than 3,500 audience members since its 2017 launch. The festival runs from March 3rd through 6th. This year, the festival goes hybrid for the first time ever, bringing independent films to Ocean City's theaters such as the Fox Sun and Surf and flagship cinemas, as well as directly to your homes. Showcasing more than 100 films, 21 are connected to Maryland, with genres ranging from animation, dramatic and documentary shorts, environmental and aquatic, horror, and feel-good films. Whether looking for a story about surfing on Delmarva, a space traveler abandoned on a distant moon, or a comedic break in the action, they've got it all.
Seeing people celebrate this art form and the way that we're able to do it, I mean, Ocean City's never seen anything like this, so it's really special to me to be able to do this kind of work back home where these opportunities weren't there before. It's incredibly rewarding. And to see people both locally and, internationally at this point, get on board with us and get so excited about what we're doing, that's really my favorite part.
Although the festival maximizes its local connections, filmmakers travel to Ocean City from all across the East Coast for the event. And the festival isn't only diverse geographically, it truly brings people of all ages and backgrounds together right here on the shore. For Strang-Moya, serving as the creative director of the festival is more than a job. It's a lifelong passion and a celebration. In fact, he's so dedicated, he even has the festival's logo tattooed on his wrist.
Everywhere throughout the Mid-Atlantic, we bring a lot of people, a lot of creative people. No one thinks of Ocean City as a filmmaking destination, but it really becomes one through this event.
All-access passes to the festival cost $99, while single-day passes are just $20. Many films will include interactive post-viewing workshops and Q&A sessions. New this year are after-parties each night of the festival, from a red carpet opening night at the Convention Center to an evening at Secrets and a night at Ocean Downs Casino. Visit ocmdfilmfestival.com for a full schedule and more information. Grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, as we roll the film by the sea. Just a week after the film festival, another popular town event will return for the first time since 2019. Ocean City will celebrate St. Patrick's Day on March 12th with its annual parade beginning at noon along Coastal Highway, sponsored by the Delmarva Irish American Club. The procession will kick off at 57th Street and conclude at 45th Street, with the best floats and marching bands having the chance to earn awards. Additionally, the shopping center will be turned into an exciting Irish festival. The free event starts at 11 a.m. and runs through the afternoon with live Irish music, apparel, food, and drinks. If you're looking for a place to celebrate the festive green weekend of St. Patrick's Day, Ocean City is certainly the place to be. In case you missed it, Sunfest is moving to later on the calendar, from the end of September to October 20th to 23rd. This now makes for a packed fall calendar with events truly happening each weekend. The shoulder season now expands to the end of October rather than Labor Day. The move comes as Ocean City welcomes a new music festival, Bike Fest, and the unsanctioned pop-up car rally at the end of September. With so much happening and many logistical challenges, town leaders decided that it would be best to spread out the events. However, this does not mean that Sunfest will be forever diverted from its typical September slot, in which it has remained for 4 decades. Special Events Director Frank Miller does not believe the date change will greatly impact the success of Sunfest. And now let's get to Boardwalk Talk, your pulse on OC. Are you ready to rock in Ocean City? The town has partnered with C3 Presents to plan a 3-day music event named Ocean's Calling from September 23rd to 25th of this year. This exciting event will feature many live acts yet to be announced from Dorchester Street to the Inlet. The music festival will coincide with the past weekend for the pop-up car rally, also known as H2OI. It also coincides with the Firefly Music Festival in Dover. City leaders believe that with a top-notch public safety force and a big concert promoter, Ocean City will become a big music destination in September. In this month's edition of Boardwalk Talk, we asked our readers online what they think of a large music festival in September. Here's what some of them had to say. 54% love the concert idea, while 23% are anxious about having a concert on that particular weekend, while 13% simply aren't big fans of concerts, and another 10% don't have an opinion on the topic. Here's what one commenter wrote. I've attended a Pink concert on the beach in Atlantic City. If done right, I'm a fan of the idea. Another commenter disagrees and said, we attend concerts regularly. My husband, me, and 2 teen daughters. We were really excited at the idea of attending a festival at the beach, but we will not come to OC on H2OI weekends due to the potential issues, both traffic and safety. It's just not a good environment to be in. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, but thanks to those who voted in this edition of Boardwalk Talk. And as we just noted, the last weekend in September is going to be quite busy in the resort, but now it's possible there will be another series of events added to the list. Ocean City Adventurefest, proposed for September 19th to the 25th, would include canine competitions, police motorcycle shows, hunting and fishing expos, concerts, and a gun show. This would all take place at the Ocean City Convention Center. The promoter, Cliff Sutherland, has all the approval of Ocean City leaders, but they do have concerns about the gun show, as there are strict federal regulations regarding the sale of weapons. Additionally, the police department has other worries, not about the sale of weapons, but about losing the convention center as its lot for Central Command for its efforts in combating the H2OI event. While the town has made significant strides, certainly, in keeping the peace that weekend, they still have not crossed the finish line. Town employees say they will make the event happen if approved by the mayor and council, but many details must be first ironed out. Sutherland is expected to meet again with leaders at City Hall shortly. Nonetheless, that is going to be one busy weekend in town. Changes are happening all across the local restaurant and hotel industry this off-season, and that includes downtown, where a major proposed project seems to be moving forward slowly but surely. A developer first proposed the Margaritaville Hotel and Resort back in August, and it has remained the subject of debate at City Hall ever since. The massive complex would be situated along the boardwalk between 13th and 14th Streets, featuring a few hundred rooms, employee housing, restaurants, retail, pools, a gym, and a convention space. As you can see, the site plans look quite impressive. However, the largest concern among planners is the approval of a planned overlay district, as the new complex would change the downtown landscape and sight lines for people at places including the Commander Hotel. The plans are still working through City Hall, so stay tuned for more details as they become available. A major shakeup just announced this week at the Clarion Resort Fountainbleu Hotel. The hotel, located on 101st Street and owned by Dr. Leonard Berger since 1985, was sold to another local operator. It will now be known as the Ocean City Fountainbleu Hotel. This was entirely the decision of Berger, who is still going strong at age 87, but looking forward to retirement. The hotel is beginning to overhaul its branding and marketing strategies in preparation for the summer, and has bigger plans for a complete renovation set for fall 2022 and into 2023. You'll remember that the hotel was once a Sheraton and has more recently been operated by Choice Hotels. Stay tuned for more changes as the hotel enters its next chapter. An update now on the Boardwalk redecking project, which has been underway over the past few months. Workers have completed the phase of the project from 27th to 20th Street and from the pier to 1st Street. City Manager Terry McGean tells us that the first phase of the project, which moves down to 15th Street, is on schedule for its April 14th completion date. The south end of the boardwalk will be the town's project for next off-season. This takes place roughly every 10 years and was slightly delayed due to the lumber shortages caused by the pandemic. pandemic. Interestingly, the old Boardwalk wood becomes the property of the contractor, and in fact, this wood is being repurposed by a company in Florida who purchased some of the wood with plans to be remilled as distressed siding and paneling. So, the rich history of the Boardwalk is now growing even further down south. And now for a few stories you may have missed in the headlines. As we discussed last edition, some city leaders are hoping to raise room tax from 5 to 6% to boost the tourism budget, but these plans have been delayed at least for a year as state law prevents this change in Worcester County without the support of other jurisdictions on the shore. So we'll have to see what happens next year at the state level in Annapolis. And finally, you're looking at photos of construction taking place on 141st Street. That is the building formerly occupied by Phillips Seafood in North Ocean City. A few years ago, the owners transitioned this location from a seafood house to be known as the Bayside Cantina, serving Mexican cuisine instead of seafood. However, this site shuttered after one season of business in 2018. It will now become a new property called Ocean 2, which will include large residential apartments, retail, and restaurants. Watch out for progress on this construction over the next year. And those are stories that you may have missed. A man who will go down as a hero in Ocean City was honored in the Maryland Senate. You may remember Jonathan Bauer, who jumped to the rescue 30 feet down in the Assawoman Bay off the Route 90 bridge following a 5-vehicle crash back in May. After the crash, Bauer saw an empty car seat and a toddler ejected in the water. He then rescued the toddler, who did make a full recovery. With this distinguished act of heroism, Bauer was brought to Annapolis this month to receive the Carnegie Medal, which is a national award bestowed to those who put others first in these dangerous situations. Bauer is living proof that there is still a lot of good in the world right here on the shore. It's not something you hear about every day, but just 50 miles from Ocean City, you'll find a place that is quite out of this world, literally. Wallops Island, Virginia is home to NASA's very own Wallops flight facility, which just sent off a launch a few days ago. Take a look at that footage. The latest launch features Northrop Grumman's Cygnus cargo spacecraft, along with the Antares rocket carrying more than 8,000 pounds of research, crew supplies, and hardware, which is all headed to the International Space Station. The Wallops flight facility sends several rockets to space each year, and people often gather outside to see the launches with their own eyes. Stay tuned for more launches, which of course are only a short drive away from Ocean City. And now for Paint in Paradise, the film festival isn't the only thing happening at the Art League of Ocean City right now. Many exhibits are on display this month, including a group show entitled Sounds of Nature, featuring works in unique media from clay to collage inspired by nature. In the Galleria Exhibiting Emotions, another media group show is on display with works depicting various emotions, from joy and serenity to uncertainty. Impactful photography is in the Art League Studio E, while watercolor paintings inspired by travels and local landscapes are on the walls of the Spotlight Gallery. Be sure to visit the Arts Center on 94th Street before the end of the month to see these fantastic pieces. In this week's history segment, we're highlighting an extraordinary marvel that still welcomes visitors each year. Originally built and opened in 1875, the iconic Atlantic Hotel on the Boardwalk launched the hospitality industry right here in OC. Constructed 4 stories high and with grand architecture, the hotel initially served as a place for many of the financially elite to stay. Most notably, people loved to dance in the hotel's ballroom. Since 1923, the hotel has been owned by the Purnell family. Unfortunately, a fire provoked by the wind broke out in 1925, causing the Atlantic Hotel and other buildings, including Dolly's Candyland, to burn down. In a sign of resilience, the hotel was rebuilt by 1926. Long before the Boardwalk was hustling and bustling, people flocked to the Atlantic Hotel, and they still do today. And that's it for this edition of This Week in Ocean City. Thank you to all of our loyal viewers for watching. We look forward to bringing you more compelling stories next month. I'm Logan Dubel. Have a great week, Ocean City.